years ago, I met this woman at work, and she was the calmest person I knew. In fact, everyone in my office knew her by the fact that she was the calmest person that they knew. Now, obviously, I did want to become like her. Not because of anything that you might think of, but simply because of the fact that constantly being in the state of this anxiousness, maybe sadness, maybe this feeling of excitement, even, or this anger, is just not something you can tolerate all the time. It gets heavier and heavier, and it comes in your way of your happiness, your work, your job, your relationships, everything. And if you don't consider any of that, it's just not a good place to be in. Now, I'm not a naturally calm person. I have a chaotic brain, something that chatters all the time. But lately, I have realized that I have become a lot more calm than I ever was. And if I recall this correctly, I do not remember making any special decisions or any specific changes in my life to incorporate this. Now, obviously, I did want this in my life, and I might have made some subconscious decisions, but nothing that I did actively to do this. But then I sat and thought about things that I have been doing that maybe has a hand in this. So I've made a list of things that I think is the reason why I am a lot more calmer than before, and I hope you will find this useful. Now, my list is way too long, so I am going to divide this video into two parts. One is fundamental changes, which is something you cannot do in one day, which is not something immediate, which will take time, and it is changes overall in your brain in a way, as in the way you think, or some realizations even. And the other video will focus more on things you can do right now. So we are on the first part right now. So the very first thing on the list is I don't make decisions when I am feeling one kind of emotion in its extreme, be it excitement, be it happiness, be it anger, be it depression even, but anything in excess, I do not make any new decisions in that phase of time. Now, it doesn't mean that I have become this extraordinary person who is not faced by anything and who doesn't think about anything, isn't worried about anything. Of course, I do think about things, but I do not say that this is what I'm thinking and this is what I'm gonna do. I would go over things because that's part of me. I have been this person for so long. That is not something I can change over time. Even though I do think that I have come to a point where I don't think about things a lot when I'm not really going to make a decision about them. I would just go over them naturally, like I was just visiting that thought, if that makes sense. I don't know if I want to advise this, but what I do is I let my thoughts flow in their natural rhythm. I do not try to block them unless it is going into a very negative direction. I just let my brain do its doing. The only thing is we're not making decisions. We can think about things. We're allowed to think about things. We're allowed to go over every scenario and worst case and best case, and anything that is not making me super anxious is fine in this moment. I will just not make the decision. That's it. The second thing is you're never in a hurry. Urgent is something that might come up when, let's say, you're driving. But if you are working in your office, no, that can be nothing urgent. Important, yes, but never urgent. It's never urgent. You always have time to think. You have enough time to think. And if you don't know, you can think about things, like tons of things in seconds. So in that way, you have a lot of time. You are never in a hurry. So tell yourself when you are like anxious or something, tell yourself that you're not in a hurry. You have enough time. You can relax. Third is lowering my expectations based on who I am. Now, I can never be the person that lady was, because I have a really chaotic brain which shakes. If someone like taps on my shoulder, I would scream if that happens to me. With that kind of brain, it's nearly impossible for me to become that person. But what I can do is, in case of known situations when I know I tend to get anxious, I can work on those parts. At least I can get my intensity to be a lot lower than before. Fourth is being honest with new people and setting boundaries. I do not like ice cream, and if my newly formed group, likes ice cream, I can be clear that I do not like ice cream instead of trying to please everyone and saying it's okay with me. If I don't like it, I have to say I don't like it. This way, I'm not setting up any false expectations, and I am saving myself from that anxiety of eating something that I absolutely hate. This might look like a small thing, but if you club a lot of such things together, you will see it becomes a little tornado of things that make you anxious. Next one is focusing on important things. Now, as someone who's anxious, I think about almost everything a lot. In this situation, one easy way out for me is not keeping anything that is not important in my sight. As in, at this point of time, nothing is more important to me than my career. So anything that comes in that way, I would immediately block that. My first priority is my career. So anything related to that gets the first priority. Anything other than that, maybe it is about something about cleaning my place, let's say. It is a very small problem compared to that. So I want to make sure that things that I'm thinking about are most of the time things that are important to me and close to my heart. I'm not thinking about things that are really not important, at least not something that will not matter after, let's say, 5 minutes or a day even. I remember someone saying, if it doesn't matter in next 5 years, don't give it more than 5 minutes. I'll go a little lower than that, let's say a month at least. If it is not going to matter in a month, do not give it more than 5 minutes. Just don't. Next one is being sure about things, specifically big decisions. So anytime you are making a decision that has impact on the part that is more important to you, let's say for me it's my career right now, I would give it utmost importance. I will not make a decision in a hurried situation. I will give myself enough time until I'm sure that whatever I have decided on is the right thing for me. And even if it goes into the worst situation, I'm still happy with the outcome. This keeps you confident throughout your journey, no matter how long it is, because you've already thought about the worst case scenario and now you know what you're heading towards. Even the unknowns are not unknowns to you. So obviously you're going to be a lot less anxious this way. Last one is fall back to basics. Now, this is something you can do in the moment as well if you're feeling anxious or upset or angry, and I would want you to incorporate this in your life as well. What this means is when you're at your edge, you say this to yourself and you will hopefully feel a little bit better. Now, what does that mean? For me, my basics are 3 things. 1, I'm alive. 2, I have food on my table. And 3, I have roof over my head. For you, it might be different. But whenever I'm anxious or upset or angry, I will tell myself, or I will just think about it, that I do have all the 3 basic things that are the most important for me right now, or any point of time. And that will give me this little comfort that will help me keep my wits and will not let me go off the rail. That was it for this video. I hope I will see you in the next one when I will talk about things that I do in the moment to make myself feel better. Till then, keep your wits, keep calm. Bye.